Welcome back to Fas Fas, where we're making way for women to get into the leadership path.
And of course, if you have any question, any comment, something you'd like to share, our social media channels are open. Just use the hashtag Fasi Fas and we'll be able to catch that.
Let me take you back to where we were before we got into a break. Are we missing out on great leaders, great female leaders, because of sexual harassment in the workplace? Are we missing out on people who could potentially lead businesses, lead places of governance, lead work, because they're afraid that either they'll be sexually harassed, or when they're sexually harassed, they'll have no protection. So they decide, let me be unnoticeable, let me be in a place where no one can touch me.
No, I don't think so. We are tired of these weak issues being put on us women because I got affected by this, I am not going to lead. No. Me, as Patricia, Kahil Kutesa, no. We are not missing out. It is you, as the woman who has been affected, that is making that missing out for yourself. Doesn't mean that what affected you should limit you. No. What affected you should be a ground of strength. Should be a point of strength. You dip into that anger, you dip into that pain and rise. Because the more we use these small things that happen to us, the more the guy harassed me, the other one was calling me sweetheart, Simanya, baby, what, I'm not going to work. No! No! People, no!
For me, I think that, to disagree with Kahil, I think that we are missing out. So this is what happens. Imagine you're in a workplace and your boss tells you that, let's go to this place, and and then and he makes it conditional for your promotion. And you know that, this place, nothing ever gets done. We have no HR, or the HR is the boss, or you don't have the money to pursue the thing in court. So at the back of your mind, you're like, I just want to keep this job. I need to feed my kids. I need to parent. So you might choose to stay in the position that you are and not try to advance, or because, even regardless of how hard you work, you're not going to advance. The guy has already made it clear that for you to advance, I need some kind of sexual treatment. Yeah. So it can affect leadership so much in workplace.
What do you think, Chris?
Well, I think it's two-way. On one end, we have to appreciate the fact that there has to be some sort of effect. Because if you're sexually harassed, definitely that will definitely have an effect on your mental state of mind when you're at work. It will affect your output at work. Yes. It will affect so many things, even the way you conduct yourself at the workplace. And all those things are considered and are looked at in a rising leader. So if you are affected mentally, psychologically, you can't relate well with your colleagues at work, definitely there's going to be something. And you're not that prospective leader of the organization or company. And that drains you, it eats you up. You just can't race through the ladders in such a state of mind. But on the flip side, I think we need to also understand that women must be able to appreciate the context, that this sexual harassment thing is real. And it exists, and it will exist for as long as I don't know what. We're trying to nip it in the bud. We're doing everything possible, but it will always be there for some time. Because it is a cultural thing, it is a behavior thing, it takes some time.
Form of gut feeling, trust in your gut feeling, because again, it's a bit of murky waters here and there. Now, one woman who knows all about using intuition in the workplace is Maxima Simeta, founder of the natural cosmetic company Livara, and she's in our hot seat today.
I am Maxima Simeta, and I'm an intuitive leader. Intuition is the ability to rely on your instinct, on your gut feeling to make a decision. I've demonstrated intuition during my career from the mere fact that I quit a well-paid job, an engineering job in the petroleum industry, to start out in a field I had no particular academic credentials in, but based on my passion for cosmetics and my passion for beauty and my instinct, I just decided to take a leap of faith and trust. My top tip for young people who want to venture out in business is that it's good to trust your gut. We are all talented in different fields. For a young entrepreneur venturing out, if you feel in your heart of hearts that this is the right thing for you, then do it. I mean, the least you could do is try, but it would really hurt you and pain you deep down if 10 years down the road you look back at your life and you regret not having tried that one thing that you felt you could have done then. So trust your instinct.
Make some noise for Maximan Cimenta, an intuitive leader. What do you guys think about her submissions? Intuition, how is it important to leadership?
I think intuition is like the truest knowledge because it comes from within. So I liked when she said that you need to listen and give it a try, because most times intuition is something you don't want to trust because you're not certain. You're not certain if it's just a fleeting moment, but if you try, then you discover whether that's the right path. So yeah, I liked what she submitted about intuition. What do you feel? What is your gut telling you? Where do you need to go? Which direction do you need to take? When you need to leave? When you need to stay?
Do you ever lead with your gut, Crispy?
Absolutely so. I'll tell you one thing. Intuition is the truest, honest, most sincere form of wisdom. And if you look across the world, all the best leaders that we've seen lead by intuition. Lead by intuition. Where they're telling you, oh, there is trouble here. And your intuition tells you, I can walk through that trouble. It happens for some reason. And well, I have been so privileged and God has blessed me with that strong intuition in me that makes me do certain things that people least expect of me, but end up being blissful, successful, victorious, name it. And for me, intuition is what any person that is aspiring to be a leader should be able to follow. Because it's that inner little voice that tells you, you know what, you can do this. Or let's do it. You can try this. You can, it's your own honest guiding force in you.
You seem to want to say something.
No, I just to add on to the two, in my world, I would call it the Holy Spirit.
The Holy Spirit is your intuition.
Thank you. In my world, that's what I would call it. As a Christian, that's where my ground is. That's why it says, you can't go through there. Lord, I can't. You can't go through there. See, so we all have it. We just don't want to listen to it.
So does this intuition, again, in going over the mountain that is sexual harassment in the workplace and in leadership and all the things that women need to overcome, how can this intuition play a role in helping women just power through this monster? Because I mean, Crispy said it is here, it is going to take many years to deal with it, and therefore, we have to figure out a solution.
Please, David, don't make me a preacher. Don't
Hallelujah.
make a preacher
Glory to God.
I'll just say, when I say the Holy Spirit, it will actually direct you and say, stay away from David, he is that. Stay away from Peter, he's like that. Yeah. Don't hire that person, he has a history of that and that. And actually, when you start digging in these things, you find the answers are right there. Yeah. You see, so intuition, other people would say, I'll call the Holy Spirit, will just direct you. Yeah. Don't sit there. You're going to sit badly. There are guys there and they're going to throw tantrums at you. Yeah. Don't wear that today, Patricia. You're going to walk through this place and the guys are going to harass you. Yeah. That is it for me.
Okay, so unfortunately we have to wrap this up. We've run out of time.
Just a quick one. Just to add on Kahil, I think the most important thing is to act on your intuition. Yes. And communicate your intuition.
Because we all have it.
Yes, we all have it. Do we act on it? Do we communicate? Yeah. That's the most important thing.
So we have to wrap this up really quickly, but I'm just going to go down the line, starting with Christine. How can we as people in the different sectors and different positions of responsibility that we have be able to create a space where harassment is not stopping women from achieving their full potential? I'll start with you, Christine.
In the workplace, I think the one thing that would quickly come to my mind is having those mechanisms that we already have and making them effective, making them work. because you also do not want to rely on the strength, the resilience, and all those other aspects about the women in that workplace, or the men for that matter, to deal with this vice. It's actually a vice, yeah. So make the systems, have the systems in place, make them effective, and let the employees be aware of these systems and be able to use them.
Okay, Patricia?
I would say if you've been affected, so I'm going to the side of someone who has already been harassed, and they're looking at this as a limitation. Don't act weak. Don't use that as your weak point. Use it as your strength. Use it as your ground to pull yourself up. I'm a victim, yes, but I'm not going to be held down because of this. I'm going to thrive through it. You boss, you want sex? I'm sorry, I'm going to leave. I'm not going to work here anymore if you want me to. My next position is dependent on. If you use your intuition also in this, you will be the better leader that you're supposed to be.
Daphne?
I think we should sexually harass the men so that the ground is leveled.
You might lose.
If you're sexually harassed, harass the man back. Let this be a battle, because it seems like the nice talking and the blah 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 is not working. So in addition, of course, now I'm presenting the rebel strategy. I mean, what can we do about this? You sexually harass me, I am going to come for you. The next man will be cautious about it.
Well, it's about trying out different models and theories. Well, definitely, I think we could also try. We could give that an opportunity to see. We could see how that works.
And you see how it works in the field.
We could see how that works in the field. But the most important thing is, I think for me, like I said earlier on the show, is men. Stop playing ball from the house. Don't play ball on the veranda. Go and play ball outside.
Well, and we have to wrap this up. Thank you so much for being part of the show, for joining us today. But before we go, here's a quick wrap-up.
That's all we had time for on Fas Fas. Thank you so much to our guests for coming. Join us next time as we continue to make way for women on the path to leadership and
make some noise.